Hello and welcome back to King's Lab IT Console. In this video, we are going to see how to install Windows Server 2012 within VirtualBox. Without wasting time, let's get into it. So, in order to install Windows Server 2012, you have to make sure that you have downloaded Windows Server 2012 R2. So, I have Windows Server 2012 R2 already downloaded. Check in my description, I'll be dropping the link to download the Server 2012 R2. So what we're going to do now is we are going to double click on the VirtualBox. So just double click on VirtualBox. So once you double click, what we need to do is to create a new server. So I'm going to select new, so I can create a new server from here, or I can click on machine, select new, whichever way you prefer. Go ahead and choose that. So I'm going to select new, and then I'll put in the server I want to install. So I want to install server 2012, so I'll put server 2012 right here. Then what I'll do is that under ISO image, I'm going to browse to the image. So I've already downloaded the setup already, so I'm going to go to other, and then I'll browse to the location of my drive, of my CD or my image. My image is stored on my downloads folder, so I'm going to have to go to downloads, and then I can find it right here. So I have it downloaded, so this is it. So I'm going to click on open, and it will be added right here. So you can see it has been added, server 2012 R2. So I have to click on next, leave everything as default, so you can see what is it here. So the name has to be unique, so let me give it a different name. So I want my host name to be called DC. Let's put everything in caps, DC1. Then I'll click on that. So here, just put the name you want to give to your server after the installation. So I'm going to leave it as it is, DC1, and then I'll click on next. And then you can see from here, the username is going to be VBuildBox user. So if you don't want that, you can give it another name of your choice. But I'm just going to leave it as default. We're going to make changes later on. Or I can edit this and call this as what? Admin. All these are optional. It depends on you, whatever you intend to do. So I'll put here admin, and then I'll leave my domain controller as DC1. Then I'll click on next, and then the hard drive I prefer to be doing the installation. I prefer to use 60 gig, so I'm just going to choose 60. Then I'm going to click on next, and then I'll finish it up. So you can see it is created right here. So all that I need to do, so you can see it is off. I'm just going to power it on. So it is powering up by itself. So we just give it a few minutes, it's going to power up by itself. Good. So I'm going to minimize this, and I have this. So that is the interface. So I'm going to click on view. Now choose full screen, then to take me into the full screen mode. So setup is starting. Wait for a few minutes. And you can see it has started. So it's going to copy Windows files. After that, it is going to get files ready for installation. It will go ahead to install features, and then to go ahead to also install updates, and it will finish it up. So you have to give it some time. So I'm going to pause the video and come back once the installation is done. Okay, so our installation is getting to the end. So installing features, installing updates. So it's done. It's going to restart. So it's going to restart within 7 seconds. Or you can click on restart now. So it is getting devices ready. Alright, so you can see that I've logged in. So let me change the view into full screen mode. So I'm going to click on view and I'll choose full screen mode, then to convert it into the full screen mode for me. So you can see that is my server. Now you can see that I have logged in without a password, which is not a good way or a good sign for me to perform. So it is recommended that I set a password. There's not any password but a strong password for this system. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on the start button right here. I'll be able to see the username. Remember, I gave my username as what, admin, so that's why you're seeing as admin. So I'm going to click on admin and I have an option to log out. I have an option to also what, sign out. So what you can also do is that you can right click and then you can see other options that you can perform right here. So I'm going to move straight into control panel. From there I'll go into users account or user account, then I'll click on user account. Now if I come in here, I can decide to change the account name. If I don't want it as admin, I can edit it. I can change the account type as well. This account is built in, so it's the administrator, so I'll leave it as default. I can manage another account as well. So if I want to work with admin, so you can see this one is active, so I can click on the admin once again. So what I have to do is that I want to change password. So by default there's no password, so I'm going to click on change, and then the current password is blank, so I'll leave it as blank, and I'm going to provide a new password, pop@9090. Remember, you should have a strong password. Strong password is a combination of lowercase, uppercase characters, special characters, as well as what, numbers. You have to blend them together. So I'm going to provide my password twice, and then I'll put a password hint. I'm going to put a hint as dot, and I'm going to change my password. Okay, the password you type is incorrect, so I don't even remember the password I chose. So for that case, let me leave it as it is. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be combining two user interfaces. You have graphical user and you have the command line. So the graphical user is when you click on your mouse, and then you can see, I can right click, select refresh, you can see your icons. All these things you see on this desktop is the graphical. But we prefer another user interface which we call the command line interface, the use of command prompt. So I'm going to perform the same test. I'm going to click on the start button, then I'll type CMD. So once I type CMD, it populates as command prompt. I'm going to right click on that, then I'll choose run as administrator, then I'll click on yes, and here I am. So I'm going to change my password from here. So what I'm going to do in order to change the password is to type net space user to check the usernames that are running on my system. So you can see I have admin, administrator, and guest. So I want to change the password for admin. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to type net user, bring a space, and then a name. Type it as you see, admin. Then I'm going to bring a space and I'll put an asterisk. Asterisk simply means that whichever password I'm going to type, nobody is going to see the password I'm going to provide. But if I want people to observe and know the password I'm typing, I can bring a space and then provide the password right there, and then you see right here. But I don't want anybody to know what I'm typing, so I'm going to put in there the asterisk, and then I'll press enter. So once I do that, it will ask me to provide a password, but the password I'm going to provide is not going to show. So you have to know the password you are really typing. So I'm going to put a password there. So I'm putting my password. So once you're done, you press enter. You'll be asked to confirm the same password once again. So I'm going to provide a password once again. And now you can see it says that the command completed successfully. So now I've changed my password. So I'm going to click out, click on the start button, click on my admin, and then just sign out. So you're going to sign out, and when we try to log in again, they'll ask us to provide our password. So I'm going to insert control delete. So in order to set control or delete, you click on input and then you choose keyboard and then you select control or delete, and then you should have it this way. So now let me click on it again. They will ask me for the password, then I can provide the password now. So I've set a strong password for my system. Alright, so the next thing you have to be checking up when you install for your server for the first time is to be sure that your date and your time is accurate. So if your date and time is not accurate, then you have to go ahead and change the date and the time. So I'm going to leave my date and time as such, so I'll leave it as it. So if I had wanted to make adjustment, I can right click on this, click on adjustment, change date and time, and then I can edit it from here. I can edit this, the date, and this is the time. So I will leave everything as default. So you have to make sure that you change your date and your time to the right date because of synchronization. Alright, so after checking your date and your time, the next thing you have to do is to change the name of your computer. So let's go and check the name of our computer. So go to launch your File Explorer and then right click on this PC and select properties. You should see the name that we gave to our system. During the configuration we chose DC1, so I'm not going to change the name because it has been changed for me already. But if I had wanted to change it as well, I could have selected change settings, click on change, and then put in the name I want to put in here. Then once I put in the name, they'll ask me to press OK. So I press on OK and press it twice, and then I'll be asked to restart my system for changes to happen. I can also use the command line interface to perform the same thing. So click on the start button, type your CMD once again, then you run as administrator. So what I could do is I could have typed this command netdom rename computer, and then the percentage symbol. So let me introduce the percentage symbol. And I'm going to put here computer name, then bring a space with a slash new and then name, and then the name you want to call your system, just put it there and you press enter. The moment you press on enter, you'll be asked to change it. So you can see they're asking that anything that is depending on the previous name DC1 is going to be affected if there's any service running on it. Do you want to proceed to change the name from DC1 to KKKK? And the answer is no, I don't want to do that, so I'll choose N. But I'm trying to tell you that you can also perform the same function. So whatever you perform with the graphical user interface or with the clicking, you can also type equally and it performs, or it will execute the same action for you. So I'm going to click on no because I've already done that. So I'm going to cancel it out. So that is done. So that is how to install Windows Server 2012 R2. So in the next set of video, we're going to be talking about how to install Active Directory and then promote it as a domain controller. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.